Okay, so I'm still working on my square drawing program. You'll remember that if I press this green arrow, he asks you how big the square should be, 45, and then he draws it for you, and he tells you the perimeter as well. Now, there are a lot of different directions we could take this in, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to move. We're still going to do some maths here, but I'm going to move in more of an art type direction, I guess. So I'm just going to get rid of the bit where he talks about perimeter. I'm not interested in it. I'm not going to delete it. I might use it again later, but I'll just drag it off. So now he's not doing that. Now, you'll notice here that he draws me a perfect square every time. What if he didn't draw a perfect square? What if he drew one where he just turned a little too much? Like instead of turning 90 degrees, he turned 91 degrees. Okay, still asks me how big it should be. You can see that square is not quite square. It's starting to get a bit skew-with. Now, what if we asked him to repeat it not 4 times, but like 16 times? So he's going to draw 4 not quite squares. Okay, you can see we're starting to get a bit like this. Now, the repeat a certain amount of times. Often what we can do in coding is not just repeat a certain amount of times, but repeat something forever. So I'm going to get rid of my repeat 16. I'm going to use my forever repeat. So it just repeats forever and ever and ever and ever. Now this is going to be quite boring to watch because that's just going to continue. And as long as I keep my computer running, I'm going to get this nice little forever loop happening. Okay, that's a good start. And you can see that it's going to keep turning and turning and turning, and that's about it. That's what we're going to end up with. But what if the square could also not only just turn a little bit on its axis, but also get larger as it was happening? How would we code that? Okay, a forever loop. Wait 0.1 seconds, move side length number of steps, turn 91 degrees, and then we can create one last block that says change side length by 1. So think about what's going to happen. It's going to wait 0.1 seconds, it's going to move side length steps, in this case 45, it's going to turn 91 degrees, and then it's going to change the side length by 1. It's going to add 1 to the side length. So for the next loop, the side length is going to be 46. And then it's going to do the whole thing again, and then it's going to add 1 to the side length, and the side length is going to be 47. What we'll end up with is something that looks like this. And you can see each time he does it, our side length is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and pretty soon he's going to take up the whole screen. Still going? Still going. Okay, and I might stop it there. So you can see we get this cool little like artistic pattern happening. Now one more thing I might add to this is an ability to change the color. So I'm going to use a second script. So we've been working down this one script forever and ever and ever, but we can actually give multiple scripts, multiple series of steps that can run at the same time. So I'm going to say, when the green arrow is clicked, I want something to happen every time I press a certain key. So if we can go key, if the I'm going to use the C key here, C for color. So if the C key is pressed, change pen color by 10. Okay, now I'm going to press green here and start it up. Now, as I press the C key, I'm pressing the C key, but nothing's happening. Okay, that's because my code is wrong. The reason my code is wrong is because the way that this currently works is when the green arrow is clicked, check to see if the C key is pressed. And if it is, then change the pen color by 10. It runs that script once, and then the game's over. So the moment you press the green flag, that's when it checks it. That's it. Checks it once. You're done. But we don't want it to do that. We want it to check it constantly. Check, 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 check. And we can do that with our forever loop here. Doesn't want to play with. Nice. So when the green arrow is clicked, keep doing this. Check the C keys, check the C key, check the C key. Now this is the first if statement we've used. If I do something, then something will happen. If I press the C key, then this will happen. Let's see what it looks like. I'm just going to move him into the center here. Okay, 35. He starts up. Let's press the C key. Change of color. C key. Change of color. Alright, and now we've got some art. So there's quite a few, in this 6-minute video, we've covered forever loops. We've also covered changing a variable within a loop, which allows things to change over and over and over again. We've also covered an if statement and the forever loop around that if statement, so you can keep checking it over and over and over again. We've covered a lot of stuff. We'll cover this in other codes as well. I just sort of wanted to show you a basic idea of some things that we're capable of doing here.